Looking at our experience on that the sustainable development, I actually say 5 points, 5 lessons from that. The first thing is that it is very important to thinking about who define the green or sustainable development, which group, or whose opinion is reflected on the project. Previous government, the many environment group defined what is environment friendly or what is good for. But the current government, actually industries, has occupied the positions. And the second thing is that the importance of green, okay, almost done. Green governance is important. The governance is good. Governance is needed for not only for the policy setting process, but also policy implementation process. I would like to emphasize that the policy implementation process needs more good governance than the policy setting process. And then the third thing is we should carefully identify the main beneficiaries of the green policy or sustainable development policy. Usually, the distorted policy implementation process actually provide the benefit of policy to the rich or the powerful groups in the society. And then fourth thing I want to emphasize is long-term vision, and then public education, effort for the general public education. For that purpose, also, we need a good governance systems for the sustainable development or green economies. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. John, for sharing your experience in Korea, as well as the implication to further develop in other countries for national sustainable development. Now, let me invite the next speaker. She is Dr. Montip. She is one of my old friends who have been working together closely in the environmental policy development. She is also one of the most active players in this field, not only in Thailand, but also in Asia and the world. Montip, you have
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to start by quoting the remarks of UN Secretary Kofi Annan in the first year. He said, "Our biggest challenge in the new century is to take an idea that seems abstract, sustainable development, and turn it into a daily reality for all the world's people." Then after 20 years, Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary, said, "We are now inside of historic agreement. Let us not waste this opportunity. The world is watching to see if words will translate into action, as we know they must. Rio +20 is not an end, but a beginning." So you can see how difficult the two UN secretaries fully aware of the difficulties of sustainable development concept. My talk today will focus on 3 questions which we were asked to say, what are the implications of Rio +20 outcomes for national level agenda setting and policy making? The agenda setting and policy making at the national level, case of Thailand, SD as an answer to the economic and financial crisis. Well, Thailand prepared a draft act on economic instruments for environmental management. The act considers a range of economic instruments, including environmental tax, user fees, charge of pollution management, product surcharge, performance bond, tradable permit, subsidies, and the other support mechanisms to include end of life of management fees. And part of the revenues will go to the environmental fund to invest in green technologies. So the parole of Thailand's green economy begins with situational analysis of the country in terms of ecological scarcity, economic competitiveness, cultural identity, and poverty with recognition on value of creation of products and service, economic resilience, for fair competition, and equity. Thailand also adopts shared sustainable development goals that will be embraced by business, civil society, and the public sector. We integrate the principle of sustainable development to country policies and programs and reverse the loss of environmental resources. The goals include innovative metrics, public disclosure, awareness, education, problem solving, and local to global level to map the pathway to achieve the goals. There are 5 critical areas in Thailand. The first one is to empower every place in the country to ensure that every individual meets the basic needs of human care, safe water, sanitation, and dignity of decent lives, sustainable development of energy system, recognizing the importance of urgency of increasing the use of alternative energy. The government revised the National Alternative Development Plan to present circumstances by raising the share of alternative energy and shorten the target period. The alternative energy will be to 25% within 2021. We do also recognize the sustainable food locally through the use of organic agriculture practices. At the moment, the ministry designates 1.73 million households for good agricultural practices. And this will apply to all, including tax, financial reform, innovation, financing of green development, and shift to sustainable technologies in general. The second one is unemployment doesn't work, put education at the core agenda. Thailand has forward the decade of sustainable development. We work closely with UNU-IAS, IJS, and UNESCO, and come up with the 2 regional centers of expertise on education for sustainable development. We commit to a decent work for all goal by 2030, including right to bargain collectively, unemployment reduction, elimination of precious work, gender equality. This is a must. I think we are looking so much on women's rights in Thailand. We have the first Prime Minister, and now she is developing Women Development Fund to distribute 100 million baht for each province for capacity building of women and also for helping in the soft loan. Special needs for women and youth as well as social protection. This one will also be done. Compel national governments to respect human rights of all migrant workers. We have migrant workers from Myanmar, Cambodia, and also Laos and plus Bangladesh. So with that, we are taking care of them. Sustainable development for fighting poverty. We promote national education to eradicate poverty and to achieve sustainable development by promoting equitable access to information, participation, representation, and justice in local, national level decision-making on sustainable development, and at the same time promote the grassroots level. Economics of sustainable development, including sustainable consumption and production. We phase out harmful subsidies and develop green tax schemes. Eliminate environmental damage in gross national product and complement it with the measures of social development. At the same time, we promote sustainable public procurement as a catalyst for sustainable patterns, taking into account the need for a holistic approach to sustainable development and principle for sustainable sufficiency economy theory, which is the philosophy under His Majesty the King. We adopt a 3 forests for benefits approach, promote science, technology, innovation, and traditional knowledge in order to face forest main challenge, how to turn them to productive without destroying them, planting trees to pay off debt.